Hello everyone, it's time for your reactions as Liverpool beat Benfica by 3-1 in the Estadio de Luz in the first leg of the quarter-final Champions League tie. I am Paul Machin. Thank you so much. If you're here right now on YouTube, you guys are absolutely awesome. If you're a YouTube member, you can use the live chat. If you want to get your reactions in on Twitter, there's a tweet there asking for your thoughts. Put the responses in there. And if you're a Club Legend tier subscriber on Redmen Plus, then you can use the live show chat in the Discord. Just if you can, tag me. If you're in the live chat, put Mate at the start, tag me in it so I know that you're talking to me, and we'll read through some of the best ones. Right now, starting with Kieran Orr here on YouTube. Mate, that should have been more comfortable, but who cares? 2-goal margin at Anfield is as good as done for me. Now just focus on a massive game on Sunday. That midfield tonight was really exciting. It really was. It really was an exciting midfield, and it actually got me thinking more about the Man City game. And I'm sure Jordan Henderson will come in, and he's the skipper, and he's brilliant, and and he will help us immeasurably in that game. But it does bear looking at. That's the first time we've seen Fabinho, Thiago and Keita start a football match for Liverpool. And it had everything. Now, maybe what it lacked, when we lost control of it a little bit was, I don't know, maybe a little bit more grit. But like Thiago, for the type of silky footballer he is, he can be quite gnarly. I think Keita's added that so much to his game. I was really impressed by Naby again tonight. And it's got flair and creativity and dribbling ability and bravery in what they do. Yeah, wow, that midfield was brilliant. And they were central to how good Liverpool were in that first half. Make no mistake, Thiago Roman on that left-hand side at times, getting through the middle. Sometimes he's the deepest midfielder, starting things off. Naby Keita getting into the box. And look, he should do better. The first header in particular, the one he heads, I think it's the one he heads right down. You should be testing the keeper there. A couple of decent shots, but he's been out, and to come into that game and that occasion in that atmosphere, he's a good player. He's a really good player. I was really pleased with him tonight. Yeah, and yeah, it should have been more comfortable. But I suppose we do care, and we can't predict how the future's going to go. I think we all just want an easy ride because it's so stressful, and everything feels like it's on a knife edge. We've got to win every game of football, otherwise peril. So having that breathing room, I think we'd all psychologically be like, oh God, I think we all wanted the game done. I think Jürgen wanted it done too, by the way. I think Liverpool did. But as fans, more so than ever, of like, oh, it'd be nice just to have that be a dead rubber next week so we don't have to stress so much about it. No, Liverpool are going to have to make it all exciting. And more's the better, I think, a little bit, to be honest. I like the fact that Benfica have got reason to come at Liverpool. It might mean that we just got to switch it on for another 45 minutes or something and make it a bit more of a game. I'm fine with that, because my worry was, with it being a dead rubber, I think Liverpool are going to need momentum. And I know momentum doesn't really exist as a thing in sport. It's been largely disproven by statisticians or whatever. I've said that really well. Statisticians, yes. The hot hands theory from basketball, it's basically a bit of a fallacy. But when you're hurting and you're sore and you've worked really hard, getting that lift and really feeling that wave of optimism can kind of carry it over the line a little bit sometimes. And I want that at Anfield next week. I want it to have a feel of a big European tie, like there's something to be taken away from us, and that scoreline might help us a little bit there. Brian Glow says, good away win in Europe. Naby was great today, especially his passing. Díaz was the man of the match for me with a goal, assist, and great all-round play. On to Man City. Yeah, look, Konate has what could have been the two most telling moments of the game. He scores the opening goal, and he scores the goal that sort of opens the door for them to get back in. But Díaz ultimately is the guy who has the decisive hand in the game. He sets up our second goal, which is what gives us the lead, which means that their goal doesn't matter too much. And he puts the game to bed as well. I thought he was great, and I think he's had that initial burst of optimism when he came in, and we've all been very excited by him. And I think he's had a little struggle. I think like the Arsenal game is an example of that. And I think it's why we'll see us go back to possibly the old school front three, but the only change to that might likely be Jota being involved at the Etihad and not Díaz. But the fact is, he's such a good player. He's so good. He's got everything to be a complete Liverpool forward. And this was another great step towards that. I can't wait to see him every single time he takes the field for Liverpool. Really good. And again, it was mentioned in the post-match interviews, like the Benfica fans hate him. They hate him. They absolutely hate him. And for him to come and perform in that, which they've done before, of course, but I actually don't think he's played Benfica this season because of how the fixtures have fallen. So it's been a while since he's played at Benfica, but yeah, big atmosphere for him to play in and to deliver like that. Great. Your man Patanik. Salah contract situation has to reach some sort of closure. Distraction is the last thing we need at this stage. I agree. I'm not sure it's as big a distraction for Salah. I think fatigue's Salah's biggest issue. He's been ridiculously overplayed for Liverpool and Egypt. And AFCON plus the World Cup qualifiers and a two playoff, at the end of it all. Salah's played too much football, and it is a bit of our fault, but it also he's Liverpool's player to do with as they please. He's effectively chosen to be that for his nation, which is cool, and Liverpool have allowed him that, of course, and they should do because he wants to play on the big stage. That's absolutely right for him to do that, but he needs. I'm a little surprised he played tonight, or certainly that he started, but that's another half an hour off. He got subbed at the weekend. Hopefully that's just enough impetus and stuff in the tank that he can just play his game, and hopefully apparently there's rumours again that something might be getting announced tonight. We'll see. We'll see on that. It would be nice. It's distracting me. It's making me overthink and over question all the things around Salah's sort of life and his meaning to Liverpool and all that. I mean, we don't need that. We just want the best player in the world to continue being the best player in the world for Liverpool, please. The Red Guy 8. Fantastic first half, but we seriously need to cut out these dodgy periods in the second half. Also, that Nunez was a colossal bell end. I lost count how many times he dived. Yeah, he's playing the game. Look, I say this. He's very us. Actually, from what I see, I'm not sure he's quite at our level, but he's got a lot of the attributes that I think we would adore as a Liverpool forward. He's very direct. He's very aggressive. He bends the rules, all that kind of stuff. You see that in Díaz? I think Nunez has got that. I think Liverpool could do far worse than have a look at him, but I don't necessarily think we really need him at this point. But if he was to come to the Premier League, I think he would be a major handful. Cutting out the dodgy periods, I agree. I think Liverpool have done themselves a bit of a disservice with some of their passing and play at times, but Benfica are a good team. You can't. I don't think you can really have 90 minutes. The way Liverpool play, I don't think you can have 90 minutes of just complete and utter domination. We aim for it, we certainly do, but we're getting to this stage of the season where, and you got the substitution thing where you've got that crossover period where the players on the pitch are maybe starting to flag a touch, and you've got to make that change to get your other lads on, but then they've got to get up to speed at the same time because it's a high-pressure environment that they're coming into and all that, so it can be tough. I think that period between sort of 55 and 75 can be hard to manage. But ultimately, Liverpool didn't throw the game away, and some might argue that's a touch of luck. But also, I think good teams make their own luck as well. It goes part and parcel with being a brilliant football team. To the point, Liverpool could just do with being a bit sharper. And Jordan Henderson's the right sub. And it takes him a while to get into the game, a couple of minutes to get into the game, but we're a bit more controlled for having him there, certainly. But it's 3-1. It is what it is. Andy App, great lead going into the second leg. Now we can look ahead to the biggest game in years. Not sure whether to be nervous or excited. Up the Reds. Simple answer to that, mate. Both. Nervous and excited. Like you can go, but also have your ass flapping at the same time. Because, it's a huge game of football. But the thing is, worth remembering, by the way, on the City thing, is even if Liverpool win, the next game's going to be huge, and the game after that, and the game after that, because you need to keep winning then. Then it's a whole new kind of pressure I don't think we've considered, because we need to get through that thing first to unlock that level of stress. That's a new, that's an unlockable that Liverpool are playing for to make our lives even more stressful, because then all of a sudden you're in the lead and you've got something to lose. You're not the chaser anymore. You're not hunting someone down and feeling them with the pressure. Where the hunter becomes the hunted. So to the point, enjoy it. To the best of our ability, of course. Brian Glow, who do you think starts up against City based on tonight's performances? I don't really think it's actually based on tonight's performance. If it was, I think Díaz would start, but I don't think the team for City will be dependent upon that. Probably. probably, maybe Díaz has done enough. Who knows? I think it will be Mane, Firmino, and Salah. But we'll do the build-up show on Thursday for that one. Keto D thought Keita played as well as he did due to play against Benfica. They gave us a ton of space to play with in the middle. Okay. Last time we can afford to make a mistake like Konate, so we move on to the Champions League, which we are. Yep. Rachel Todd says, I agree, Paul, about Salah. Thank you so much, Rachel. That's lovely. And Keto says, again, would have brought in Minamino after Díaz's goal. Would have absolutely been okay to bring him on at 75th minute before the third goal. Rest Díaz's legs. Yeah, but maybe. But who else? Did we use our full 5 subs in the end? I think we do, don't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So in terms of who else we rested Thiago, Sadio, Mo, Naby, and Trent. Díaz needed that full 90, I think, and it was his turn to put that shift in. And again, I don't think he's going to start against City, so I think it was fair for him to do that. But it's an interesting point. Right, YouTube commenters, I will return to you guys in a moment. I'm going to pop over to Twitter. Got a bunch of really good ones. In fact, I'm going to highlight one who didn't tweet it us directly, but Adam Rowe, our good friend, the incredible Scouse stand-up comedian and owner of one of the hottest podcasts on the planet Earth. Adam Rowe says, we're at a point in Liverpool's history where we're winning games 3-1 away in European quarterfinals and people aren't satisfied. What do you want? This is the best it will ever get. Enjoy it. Yeah, Adam's put that rather succinctly, and I completely agree with that. And it's hard not to feel your feelings. That's life, innit? That we were running away with it, and then instead it made it hard work. But I would contend that if we'd finished 2-1, you can feel a bit like, oh, but the fact that we just went and got the third and undid it, and it's only disappointing if you thought or felt that we needed to win 4 or 5. Adam's right. 3-1 away from home in the quarters of the Champions League that's better than you should be able to ask for, regardless of what you think about the level of opponent. Good comment here actually from Brian Corley, 95. I feel like we're barely in second gear and still winning loads. Big win that tonight. I'm not sure. I think the first half, maybe there was another gear to go to, because you could argue we could have put a stronger team out, so that's a potential point, but not by much, by the way. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, about where we think Liverpool are. We were so good in that half, and we just swamped everything Benfica were trying to do, that when we're like that, it's just you're right on the edge and everything feels like it's pulling in the right direction. It doesn't feel like a grind, whereas the second half felt a bit more of a grind. It felt a bit like, to carry the gear analogy on, like in first half we got all the way up to like 4th, but then them scoring the goal is a bit like you having to slam on, and then all of a sudden we're in 4th gear and Benfica are in 2nd going into 3rd, and we're in 4th trying to get back up to speed again. And then anyone who's tried to do that knows it's harder to do when you're already in a high gear. But I think that was kind of where we came a bit unstuck in that half, to be honest. Instead of just going back to basics and building up again, we tried to jumpstart it in, and that's the issue sometimes with Thiago and Keita, is that they play like that. They play on the edge, whereas actually you need a Jordan Henderson to just come in and go, no, come on, we're just going to kick the ball and knock it round. And then if an opportunity presents itself, we'll win the game. And that's what happened. Sidan's Nando Carr. We could have had 5 or 6, to be honest, if the finishing had been a bit better. But 3-1 lead, back to Anfield, looks good for the semis. Yeah, exactly. And that's it. The mission is just to get to the semi-finals, and then the mission in the semi-finals is get to the final, and the mission in the finals is but that comes down the line. You've just got to get to the semis first and foremost, and this was the first leg. There's 2 legs you've got to play, and you've got to try and navigate your way through the tie. Liverpool have played themselves into a way where we can lose at Anfield and go through. We could lose 1-0 and still progress. That's good. That's good. That's a very good thing. I don't expect us to do that, by the way, but yeah, that's worth remembering, that they need to do more to us at Anfield than they've done to us in their own ground if they want to knock Liverpool out. All the best. Henry York, 2. the second Henry York. Go ahead. Maybe his dad's got number 1. People will overreact because we ended up too loose at times. One mistake that let them back into the game, which ignited a roaring crowd and put LFC on its heels for the time. We are such a better team. Hendo Matip back in for the weekend, although I loved our midfield setup today. Yeah, quite a lot saying that, and I tend to agree. It was a very, very exciting midfield for Liverpool. It was like the final form of that Fabinho, Ox, Keita midfield that I think we played away at Genk or something like that, where we absolutely, like, Fabinho come off looking absolutely ruined because he just done all the defending for entire midfield, whereas Naby's a better player now and Thiago's unreal. He's just a complete central midfielder. So yeah, it's very, very exciting. It wouldn't shock me if we saw that again. I thought we've had Naby and Thiago in a bit of rotation. We saw them, I think we were both on the pitch at Burnley. I'm right in saying that. I like that. I do. I think it gives us a completely different dynamic. Not quite as like blunt, physical, but certainly very, just very elegant. A very elegant midfield, that is, which I like. Scott Barton, second half, Benfica gave us a game. 3-1 away at Benfica. Boss, to be honest. Yeah, that. Thank you so much for that, Scott. I think you've summed that up wonderfully. Have a quick look into our Discord chat. I'm sure that I've been tagged in somewhere. There you go. Owen Slater's tagged me in. Give us a 2-goal lead at Anfield against anyone. I'm confident we win. Not only that, we looked more likely to score 4 and 5, and Vlachodimos had to pull off some great saves. Then Benfica looked like scoring a second. Most ideal scenario going in that we have the tie wrapped up, and as far as I'm concerned, it is. Yeah, I mean, it's not, is it? But you're right. Is that for Benfica to, again, we said this before, if Benfica want to, because there's no away goals now, Benfica need to go and win the game, like, and need to win, need to have a full turnaround. They can't just get, they need to just go and beat Liverpool 3-0 effectively to win that game. You'd take that, wouldn't you? You would be very much take that. I agree on that. I think that's a really good point. And Chris' point is about the big chances Liverpool hadn't missed. Their goalie makes, I'm thinking, there's a save from Jota, there's a save from Díaz, there's a save from Salah, which when he makes himself really big and he gets like an arm or a good strong leg to it, they're really, really good saves. And that's, sometimes they go in, sometimes the goalkeepers aren't quite that good, and Liverpool do slot. So I agree on that. Alisson was much less troubled, and it did feel a bit more like, okay, Benfica kind of put us under a bit of pressure and what have you, but Liverpool being a bit daft made us work a little harder than we should do, whereas we just made Benfica work really, really hard. So yeah, I think that's a really good comment there from Owen, our Club Legend Discord. Quadbod says, I don't get all this Salah negativity. He's the most defended player in the world. Grimaldo was their man of the match and really kept him quiet, but he still had 2 great chances, and but for their keeper and his lucky elbow would have scored 2 goals. We just have to let Mo be Mo and he will come good. The others are picking up goals, and just as an aside, when did we last lose a game? Can't even fucking remember. It was so long ago. Well, to the point, yeah, it's been 19 games since we actually conceded a goal in the first half of footy, as we pointed out at half-time, which is mad. Shrewsbury as well. So, like, yeah, Shrewsbury Town, then many years ago, back in January. Yeah, I don't know where the Salah negativity is coming from. I haven't seen it. I mean, look, social media exists to be negative about all kinds of stuff for no reason. Salah's boss. He's having a tough time. He's played a lot of football, hasn't he? And I think Liverpool need to manage him through this, and we need to give him our support. And if you can get that contract thing sewn up as well, that will help. That will be a relief to all concerned. But there's always, because Liverpool are so good, there's always a space in people's lives to have there be someone to moan about. Some people need, that's how some people enjoy football, and that's cool, but I wouldn't read too much into it. We all know Salah is absolutely exceptional, and long may it continue. A few more comments over in the YouTube. If you want to get your comments in here, then do it now. Last chance to do just that. It's Crossbow with the 179 super chat. Thank you so much. We need the Salah contract sorted out ASAP, in my opinion. Yes, I completely agree with that, mate. Omar Ismail with $7.99 Australian says, I believe with all my heart that we will go away and beat City. This is Jurgen's moment in time, our chance to finally build a dynasty, God willing. I like that. I really do like that, mate. I think that's a wonderful sentiment, and I hope it's true. I hope it's true. I hope it does come true, because this side deserves it. you know, and look, you can argue just as much that Man City's deserved. They're brilliant. They've got a great manager. They've got a great side, and they play a great brand of football. They're brilliant. They're probably the two best teams ever to play in the Premier League we're talking about. And that's a shame, because I'd love this Liverpool team at this level to go up against some of the other great teams, because they're putting down points per game ratios unlike anything Man United ever did, or Arsenal ever did. So yeah, it's just a shame that we exist, but of course they exist. Both of these teams exist because of the quality of each other. So yeah, but I agree. Hopefully this is the moment. But I would also say, and I tried to make this point and I laboured it, I probably got it badly wrong on the podcast today and how I phrased it. But my point is, I hope we go and win at the Etihad. But I don't think it's over if Liverpool don't. It might be if they lose, but you know, I said this plenty of times. The Gerrard, Coutinho, they do something to help give Liverpool a title at the end of the season can only really be a thing if Liverpool aren't comfortably at the top of the Premier League on the last game of the season. So bear that in mind. What I'm saying is stress. It's going to be massive stress. Enjoy it. The Rev guy's back again. He said, I'd like to know how you felt about Fabinho coming back on after his clash of heads. This concussion stuff doesn't get taken seriously enough. It's ridiculous. I mean, my hope is that he seemed in good spirits. He seemed to be laughing and joking. He didn't seem to be suffering any ill effects. But I do agree that we're on dodgy ground. We saw this ahead of the Barcelona game. Salah misses the Barcelona game because he gets a head injury in the build. Is it against Newcastle, or does he get it in Barcelona before that? But he misses that, and yeah, Liverpool could really do with having Fabinho for this. So I agree, it definitely needs to be taken more seriously. But yeah, we're also fans, and there's loads of money on the line, and I don't want to. There's no moral high ground, unfortunately, in this one. We all just want to see Liverpool be good. Hopefully, it's not at the risk of the health of the footballers. And Amru Atas just sent 369 cars in. Thanks so much, mate. That's lovely of you. You're absolutely wonderful. Dimitar Guriyov didn't have quite a lot of chances, though. Maybe 2 in total. The second half, they had some of the ball, but still nothing exceptional. Yes. Liverpool, though, are exceptional. Wonderful, in fact. And you know who else is wonderful and exceptional? Chris Pajak. And he's going to follow me with the player ratings. And then he's going to come back and he's going to sit in the studio with me. And we're going to do the instant match reaction together. And we're going to do about 20, 25 minutes talking about this game. Now we've got time to digest, and we'll see what the player ratings come out as. And we've read all you guys' comments. And we'll factor that all in, and we'll have a good old natter about the game. So if you want to join us live, go to redmenplus.com right now and sign up. And you'll get that show. It will be there. It should be there in the slider bar at the top. I'm saying that. I'm kind of saying that in the hope that I'm hoping it's there. Here it is. Well done, Tom. Yeah, it was just there. If you go and just click the big yellow red button on the side that says join today, do that, sign up as club captain. That gets you access to all of our content in video and podcast form. So if you want the instant match reaction after the fact and you just want to bang it in your ears and get on the bus or whatever, then you can do that. If you want it live in video, then it will be streaming there in about 40 minutes, half an hour-ish is sort of time, so plenty of time to get signed up. And join me and Chris to have a good old chat about the Reds winning in Benfica and putting 1 foot in the semi-finals. Thank you so much everyone who's commented, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for all the people who kept positivity going. There's no need for us to get spoiled or churlish over this. Liverpool are amazing. Liverpool are going for an unprecedented 4 trophies, and they're doing an amazing job of it, let's be perfectly honest. Right, see you all soon. Ta-da.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want even more Redmen TV goodness in your lives, head on over to redmenplus.com right away. You'll get more in-depth analysis, more features, more documentaries, more interviews, basically more Liverpool goodness. It's like Netflix for Reds. You will love it. We love it. Head on over to redmenplus.com and sign up for Redmen Plus.